If you've ever lived alone in an apartment, you know that silence can be comforting until the moment you realize the silence has been listening. When Marcus moved into apartment 6B, he thought he'd finally caught a break. Cheap rent, good location, old building, but well maintained, at least on the surface. The landlord was a quiet, overly polite older man named Mr. Harrow, the kind of person who smiled too much and said too little. But the price was unbeatable, and Marcus didn't ask questions. The first week was uneventful. He unpacked, settled in, and enjoyed the freedom of living alone for the first time in years. But around the 10th day, the strangeness began. At night, Marcus sometimes heard soft clicks, like light switches flicking on and off, even though all the lights stayed dark. Other times, he would feel a faint draft, almost like someone opened a door in the room behind him. Except there was no room behind him. He kept brushing it off. Old building, old pipes, settling wood, nothing new. But what he couldn't brush off was the feeling of being observed. Not watched, observed, like someone was studying him. Silently, patiently. It got to the point where Marcus unplugged his smart devices, covered his webcam with tape, and stopped FaceTiming his friends because he swore he wasn't alone in that apartment. Still, he stayed, because where else would he go? The first real warning came 2 weeks later. Marcus returned home from work and froze in the doorway. His bedroom light was on, not flickering, not faulty, just on. He always turned it off before leaving. Always. He checked the window, locked. Checked the bathroom, empty. Closet, nothing. He called the landlord. "Ah," Mr. Harrow replied calmly. "Don't worry about that. The wiring in 6B is a bit playful. I'll send someone to look at it." But no one ever came. That night, Marcus didn't sleep. He lay in bed, eyes open, staring at the ceiling, listening. And that's when he heard it. A soft knock. Not on the door, inside the wall. A slow, intentional knock. 3 taps. Then silence. Marcus held his breath. He waited, and then 3 taps again. Closer this time, almost behind his headboard. He whispered to himself, "It's just the pipes, just the pipes." But he knew whatever made that sound wasn't water. The next morning, Marcus confronted the landlord. "I hear knocking. Someone is in the walls. I'm not imagining this." The landlord sighed, not annoyed, disappointed. "I thought you'd last longer," he murmured. Marcus blinked. "What?" But Mr. Harrow forced a smile, handed him a sheet of paper and said, "Here, a list of the building's rules. Please follow them carefully, especially rule number 3. Marcus went upstairs confused and unfolded the paper. There were only 3 rules. 1. Never leave food on the counters overnight. 2. Don't use the mirrors after midnight. 3. If you hear them knocking, do not knock back. Marcus dropped the paper. "What the hell do you mean, though?" That night, Marcus couldn't help himself. Around 2:17 a.m., he heard it again. 3 knocks, soft, rhythmic, coming from inside the wall next to his bed. He sat up, his heart hammered in his chest. Something in him, curiosity, stubbornness, fear, snapped, and he knocked back, just once. Silence. Then the wall responded, not with 3 taps this time, but 10, fast, desperate, chaotic, as if something inside the wall suddenly woke up. Marcus stumbled out of bed, grabbed his phone, and shined the flashlight toward the sound. And that's when he noticed something he had never seen before. A thin vertical crack running along the wall surface. Fresh, new, almost like pressure from inside was pushing outward. He backed away slowly. The knocking intensified. Now it wasn't taps, it was scratching, scraping, clawing, as if dozens of fingernails dragged across the inside of the wall. The crack widened, plaster began to crumble. Something was trying to come out. Marcus bolted out the door and sprinted down the stairs to the landlord's apartment. He banged on the door until his fists hurt. Mr. Harrow answered instantly, as if he'd been waiting. "I told you not to knock back," he said softly. Marcus gasped. "What are they?" The landlord looked up the staircase toward 6B, listening to the distant frantic scraping. And then he said, "They're previous tenants.